And welcome, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. If you don't know, this is the new Hello Plaza in 3D in our new Hello Plaza metaverse that you can go to thehellllc.io and look. There's a little button that says go into the Hello Plaza. And we cannot make it any easier for you to come and see this 3D metaverse experience. Take your Zoom, take your trade show, take your meetings, take your webinars, take your trainings, take anything that you meet offsite onto a whole new level where you can transition your business from a 2D to a 3D experience. And look, if people don't want to meet in this, you can easily transition this over to a 2D experience and make it easy peasy breezy. But if you guys don't know, today we're going to be having an amazing conversation. Nobody does it like me, aka you, and that's the problem. And I want to share something with you guys all. And we all can probably relate to this, especially us as men. We can be able to, share that, when we come inside the house and we have, this option to make two trips or one trip. I can be a man and I can take all 20 bags and try to get to, inside the house. And Tara gets to look at me and be like, "Ooh, look at those muscles." And yeah, right, baby. And, this allows you to really take it and one swipe. And that's kind of what we're doing in our business as business owners, gentlemen, is that we're not allowing this other automation or slowing down to speed up and not getting our fingers entangled. And or ladies, I definitely have not forgot about you, right? Is that, imagine you Thanksgiving's coming, you Sunday football's coming, and you're going to be in the kitchen and you're going to be, cooking and doing whatever, and somebody else is going to come in the kitchen and ask you, "Hey, what can I do? How can I help?" And you're going to go, "No, I don't need any help." Tara, baby, you gonna back me up on this? Is that gonna be what you would tell somebody that would come over and just sit there and say, "Nope, I'm done"?
Absolutely. That would be absolutely what I would say. Thank you, but no thank you. You can bring whatever you would like to bring.
Exactly. And so, we share this from this side to really be able to take us a step back when we talk about, implementing this AI, because it is nothing more than another tool. And this is why Tara and I bring this forward thinking, ideas to, our business owners and our pivot members and the businesses that we work with, and being able to start somewhere and understanding where you're at, and then being able to build upon that. And you don't have to do all this razzle dazzle buttons and jizz jazz. And it's really about stop carrying all the bags in. It's stop trying to cook all the meals yourself as a business owner, especially with all of these tools and this automation, and you getting out of your old way of thinking. And so I really would like to hear, your thought process on this, Tara, and your feedback. And then I know you're going to bring in the news. But guys, this is really where we encourage you all to just take a step back and let go. So here you go, love. What you got?
Well, hello everybody. It's good to be with you guys on this beautiful Tuesday. So happy Tuesday wherever you are, where in this beautiful world. Yeah, I really resonate with this conversation because for a very, very, very long time within corporate America, let me just say my entire life, it's always been no, I got it. That's why David said, can you jump in here because that is exactly what happens when Thanksgiving or any other meal or deal comes around the bend. Is that if it's being hosted at our house, I will take care of all the cooking. I don't even like David to help, and that's just because I've always been the person, the go-to person. I've done that throughout my entire corporate career. It's always been I've been the go-to person. So this conversation is really about me. Did you get that on camera, Mr. Jones? Anyways, just kidding. It's
Yes, we did.
I represent that in the inner part of all of us, is that we kind of focus, we don't kind of, we do focus on it being, I need to do it. It wasn't done right. I need to go do it. If you want it done right, you better do it yourself, was what the motto I grew up with in hearing. And so when you hear that and you have a family environment, you have a school environment, you have a whole environment that is this upbringing that does share the, well, unless I'm doing it, it's not done right kind of attitude, then that's where we kind of get into what we're dealing with. And that's not a bad attitude to have, but you also have to understand it's a limitation for you. And so, just as where it's helpful, it is also your Achilles tendon. It is also your strongest, but it is also your most at risk and vulnerable spot. So, with that all said, let's jump into this conversation today. But before we do that, we have these amazing headlines that are in the news, in the AI conversation, in the technology realm. This is to help you and your business and just know what's on the realm. So let's check it out. We have AI agents are getting ready to pay. What does that mean? Well, in India, they're preparing to allow authorized agents to make payments. So, through certain UPI systems, agents will be able to make actions or do the corrective actions in order to make said payments. This is a very intricate conversation. I know a lot of people at the end of the day are like, oh no, I'm not letting AI have any access to my money or any type of money or any type of payment system of whatnot going on, because we don't trust a lot of new things, right? It took us many, many, many years for us to trust banking systems, to take our money out of the mattress and put it into a bank. So just imagine how much it's going to take for the community to say, okay, I'm ready for AI to manage this. But by the way, what most people don't know is that AI is already managing all of your payment systems on the back end. It is just not being processed via AI yet, but they are, what I mean, being settled. Let me say that in a different word. It's not being settled via AI. That's coming very quickly. That's what they're talking about here, but it is being processed. So if you do not think that AI or agents are not a part of that, let me just say, guess again. It's here. Salesforce. Salesforce is in the news. They are actually expanding AI agents across business systems. What does that mean? Salesforce is expanding how AI agents are going to connect across enterprise systems. So if you know what that means all these enterprise accounts out here get to have the fun before the small business or regular business accounts do, which is you or I. But at the end of the day, it's here. And so this is where they're going to test it at a larger scale. And then they go ahead and drop that down into the applications that we get to use. But this is great because agents can work potentially across the sales, the service, the marketing, commerce, and the data side. So this is where a lot of people get, oh my gosh, AI is going to take over my job. And this is not at all what is happening. And we have to understand. Um, David and I were having this conversation. I've had this conversation with a few other people, and I've listened into the conversation similar to this. But a lot of times people think AI is going to take over. And while that could be what is going to happen, none of us know. First of all, because we haven't been there. But second of all, what is really at play is that AI is only good as your creativity. And I say this all the time. You have to have an idea before AI can ever go execute it. AI just executes what we need done. We are the ones that create the idea to do said thing. And a lot of times we get scared and say, oh, it's going to take away all of these things. No, you're going to be able to turn your creation into an actual product. And that is what AI does. And so Salesforce is bridging those gaps in doing the same thing within the business. They're taking that data that they collect and now they're bridging that gap back and being able to fill those holes. So you and I don't have to spend hours analyzing and testing, A B testing, what works and what doesn't work. And if you've ever done A B testing, you know exactly how long it takes and how frustrating it can be because you're like, well, this element works, but this doesn't work. That works, but this won't talk to this. This is now going to bridge that gap. So kudos to Salesforce. They're going to be a pioneer within that home front. All right, last but not least, we have $240 million bet. You heard that right, a $240 million bet on AI for local businesses. What does that mean? Well, it's come down to the fact that owners and funding are now being married up. This is where companies are building AI powered technologies for independent restaurants and local small businesses. So that is you. That is who we're talking to. You are now, let me say this a different way. The funding is now being invested into markets that you are a part of. That is what I would like to share with you. You and I and other small and medium sized businesses are now getting to be where we're going to have access to this funding and these applications to where we are going to be able to utilize this at a bigger market. What do I mean there? I just talked about Salesforce, right? I just talked about the enterprise level of that. What does that mean in this side? Well, if you're in an enterprise, which means if you're a Coca-Cola, if you're a Ford, if you're a large company, then you have access to these tools within Salesforce. But yet here, we are now going to have small business AI access and funding. So that means that this $240 million bet that this quote unquote owners, these funding investment firms, are looking at a $2.3 billion valuation. So yes, you might, well, what is it? Is it 240 million, Tara, or is it 2.3 billion? Well, this is the kicker. It is what is going to be a $2.3 billion industry growth that they're looking at taking this investment of 240 million and turning it into that. Does that make sense? And the biggest thing is that you and I and other small companies and businesses and medium-sized businesses get to have access to this. So that is a great, jump and leap from where we were just 2 years ago when none of us had this access. And last but not least, AI is no longer something that we're just asking questions about. It is here. It is work. It is our systems. It is completing tasks for us. It's going to be making payments. It's going to begin the transactions. It's filling in these gaps that we have as businesses within our systems, our SOPs, that allow us to be able to move forward, bridge that gap, and not have to worry about, oh my gosh, did I send that email out? Did I reach out to that client? Did I get this done? Did I get that done? Because that's the worst feeling in the world. As we just, we're listening. I think Mr. Jones is going to share this clip later on. Is Miss Leah Garcia sharing about how much time she can put back into her business on different aspects because bridging those gaps. And then one of the gaps that she has with social media. So with all that said, guys, don't just be adding AI tools to your repertoire and say, oh yeah, I'm utilizing AI. Actually utilize it. So if you need assistance with that, that's where you jump on the phone with us. We say it's a 30-minute consultation. Let's just be real. You get a 60-minute strategy session with David and I. We get to sit down. We get to look at what's going on. We get to listen to what the pain points are within your business. And then we get to say, you know what, the best strategy would be go through A, B, and C and doing that instead of doing X, Y, and Z. And that is what we bring to you, is the clarity, because we've already tested these systems. We already know how they work. Instead of you having to guess and put it together, which you can if you want to, but back to that A/B testing, if you've ever done it, it takes weeks, if not months, and you don't have the strategy that actually works. And that is what David and I and The Hello LLC bring to market, is to be able to assist you with that. So book a session, jump in there at thehellollc.io. That is thehellollc.io. Click book a call. And yes, it says 30 minutes, but I'm going to tell you right now, it's more like 60 minutes. And we chat and we really actually listen to your pain points, because not all sizes fit one. So with that said, Mr. Jones, let's get this party started about how.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
And one of the things that you mentioned, right, that when you do get on the call with us, and people have to understand, is that not only being on the phone with us, but being part of our community. being part of our Pivot membership. The other day, we had a Pivot member that was due with her domain names, and she's using the good old that everybody knows, Google, for her domain names. And we end up siphoning through all that she's doing. And Tara was able to save her $700+ over the next year just being a part of our Pivot membership. And so when people say, "Oh, I don't know if I should invest and I don't know if I should do that," she literally just paid for her Pivot membership for the whole entire year alone with the savings. And so this is just the abundance that we as entrepreneurs get to bring to the table that we've been able to do. And we've experienced it, and we continue to change and adapt. And that's why when you guys see us live and you might hear a mute here or a speaker there, we are not afraid to change. And that's the one thing that I love about Tara and I. We're willing to make these pivots, just like in this new Hello Plaza. You guys have no idea how many changes and shifts that we've done just to get here alone. So, Love, do you want to share anything else? I'm sorry, I had to add that in about you just saving, one of our clients all that money.
And that's it. It's, it's the old fable that they say is that, you get a door and you open it. For past 5 years living in their house, that door creaks every time you open it 17 times, million times a day. And you just got used to it, but it aggravates the heck out of you. So you've tried everything. You've tried leveling it. You tried everything trying to get that darn door. You've even replaced the door. You've done everything. You finally called the door guy and asked him to come out. And he comes out. He spends 2 minutes, tap, 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 hands you an invoice for $500. And you go, $500? You tapped 4 times and we're here for 2 minutes. And he's like, but you don't have that squeak anymore, do you? No, I don't. And he says, you didn't pay for the fact that I was able to fix your problem. You paid for the expertise to fix your problem. Because ultimately, you can fix your problem. It took that person 3 years. They were still working on that problem. The professional, the expert comes in and is able to fix that problem within just a couple of minutes and a couple of taps. And then charges the appropriate rate. The point being at that end of the day with that is a part of what the expertise is. I'm not going to, and I'm just going to, use Miss Leah Garcia as an example. I'm not going to give somebody financial advice because that's not where my expertise is. I have inclinations, I have ideas, but I'm not the certified expert, nor do I have 20, 25 plus years within that field to know the ins and outs and to see what's happened and see trends. Now, I do have 25 plus years within systems and operations and technology and understanding how things and SOPs work and how understanding how project management and logistics and all of that and being able to cut costs and save money and be able to do all that. I do know that. And that is what the end of the day is. You go to the expert that you need, and that's what we're able to assist you with. So we were excited to help that client be able to identify, almost, like David said, over $700 worth of savings. I mean, I'm going to tell you right now, anybody that can save me over $700 of savings, they A-okay in my book. So, that's what we like to do. We like to help our clients and be able to assist them with the knowledge and expertise that we can share with you to make your business run more efficiently. At the end of the day, we want more for you than from you. But with that said, Mr. Jones, let's get this podcast rock and rolling because people want to hear about how they do what you and I do, which is, but I need to do it because we too suffer from that.
Still running your business on sticky notes? Still serving PTA flyer vibes with free word templates? Still stuck in that comfy little 2013 tech bubble for your business? AI called. It saw your workflow systems and it cried. Guess what? Your brand's in therapy now. Yeah, that comfort zone might be costing you more than you think. The Hello LLC welcomes you to go from chaos to clarity. We've been talking AI since before it was trendy. But now we're showing you how to actually use it. Real business use cases, automation hacks, and AI strategies that scale your brand now and set you up for the future. This is the AI Edge, powered by the Hello LLC. Streaming live every Tuesday at 9 a.m. Central Standard Time from the Hello Plaza, our Metaverse HQ. Yep, Join the metaverse from your phone, laptop, iPad, even grandma's VR headset if she'll let you use them. Or if you're still holding on, catch us on the crusty, dusty 2D social media platforms like LinkedIn, Facebook, YouTube, and X. Either way, press the button, and let's upgrade. From chaos to clarity, let's work smarter, not harder. Buckle up, buttercups, and let's explore the AI edge.
The show that makes AI simple, easy, and practical. From chaos to clarity, AI made easy. Let's cut the chaos.
Okay, but be honest with me. When was the last time you actually let someone else do something you usually do?
Define let.
Now, hold on. This is the funny part. I'm the guy who's supposed to be all in on handing things off, automating things, freeing up your time. And I still catch myself at 11 o'clock at night redoing something somebody already did. Because in my head, it wasn't done right.
Which means it wasn't done by you.
Which means it wasn't done by me. Yeah.
Though today we're not really arguing about software.
No, we're arguing about the thing nobody says out loud. That quiet little belief every founder carries around. Nobody can do this the way I do it.
And what it costs you to keep believing that, and what it costs you to stop.
Today, we're doing something a little different. We're not going to sit here and tell you which app to download or which button to press.
We're going to have an argument.
A friendly argument.
Because we genuinely land in different places on this one. And I think that's more useful to you than the two of us nodding at each other for 20 minutes.
So, here's the question on the table. You built this business, you do 100 things a day, and somewhere in there is this fear. If I stop doing all of it, if I hand pieces of it off, whether it's to a person or to a system, am I still the one running this thing? Or am I just watching it run without me?
I'm going to argue that some of what you do by hand is not busy work. It's the fingerprint. It's why people chose you. And I think we're a little too quick to call it the small stuff.
And I'm going to argue that you're drowning in things that don't need to be you, and that holding on to them isn't loyalty to your craft, it's fear wearing a nicer outfit.
Okay, gloves are off.
Friendly gloves. Let me set the picture. There's a guy. Could be an HVAC owner, could be a financial advisor, doesn't matter. He's the first one up, he answers the phone, he does the quote, he does the follow-up, he does the invoice, he does the, hey, just checking in text, and then he does the books at night after his kids are asleep.
I know that guy. I've been a version of that person.
Everybody has. And here's the thing. He's not doing all that because it's the best use of him. He's doing it because letting go feels like losing control. And I get it. But that quote he's typing at 11 p.m., a system could draft in 9 seconds, and he could approve it in 10. That's not his craft. That's his exhaustion.
See, and this is where I want to slow you down. Because I agree with you on the invoice. I do. Nobody's soul isn't an invoice.
Thank you.
But you slipped something in there. The just checking in text, you lumped that in with the books, and I don't think it belongs there.
Why not?
Because that's the moment. That little unprompted, hey, thinking about you, how'd the thing go? That's the reason that customer refers you to their brother-in-law. That's not admin, that's the relationship. And the second it becomes automated, some part of the customer feels it, even if they can't name it.
Can they, though? Feel it?
I think sometimes they can. Sometimes. I'll give you sometimes.
Okay, I want to name the real thing because we're dancing around it. The reason people won't hand this stuff off isn't logistics, it's identity.
Say more.
You started this business because you were good at something, and doing the work is how you know you're still good at it. So when someone says, let a system handle that, what you actually hear is, the thing that makes you you isn't needed anymore.
Yeah, that's exactly the fear.
And I want to say to that person, gently, the work was never the point. You are not your inbox. You are not your quote template. Though they're just the tools you happen to use to deliver the actual gift, which is your judgment, your taste, the way you make people feel safe. That can't be handed off. So hand off everything else so you have more of yourself to give.
That's beautiful, and I mostly believe it.
Mostly.
Here's my but. You said the work was never the point, but sometimes the work is where the judgment lives. Like, I can't fully separate the way I make people feel safe from the fact that I'm the one who reads the email, catches that they sounded a little off, and picks up the phone instead of texting back. If a system had handled that, it would have sent a perfectly nice reply, and I would have never known that person needed a call. The craft wasn't in the reply, it was in noticing. And noticing only happens when you're still close enough to the work to notice.
That's a good point. That's a really good point.
I'll take it.
Okay, let me concede something because I don't want to pretend I'm right about all of this. There is a version of handing everything off where you wake up one day and you're a stranger in your own company. You don't know your customers anymore. You don't know why people leave. You've automated yourself out of the very thing you were supposed to be protecting.
Yes, thank you. That's the nightmare.
So the answer isn't hand everything off. I'll own that. That was too strong.
And let me concede back because I don't want to be the person romanticizing burnout. There is a version of I have to do it all myself that isn't craft, it's a cage. And I've watched people lose their marriage, their health, their joy in the thing they built, all while telling themselves they were protecting quality. They weren't protecting quality, they were protecting a story about themselves, and it was killing them.
So we actually agree on the shape of it. The question isn't, should I hand things off? The question is,
which things and how you'd know the difference.
Right. So let's try to give the listener that, because that's the useful part.
Okay, here's how I'd sort it. Ask yourself one question about the task. If this were done a little bit worse, would anybody's trust break?
Ooh, I like that.
The invoice, done a little worse, nobody's heart breaks. Hand it off. But the note you send a client after their dad passed, done a little worse, that's a wound. That stays with you forever. That's not a delegation task, that's a you task.
And I'd add the flip side. Ask, am I doing this because it needs me or because I'm scared of what it means if it doesn't? Because if the honest answer is, I'm scared, that's not a reason to keep it. That's the exact thing to look at.
That one stings a little.
It's supposed to, in a loving way.
In a loving way.
And here's what I want people to hear. When you finally let go of the stuff that doesn't need you, the quote, the follow-up, the are you still interested chase, the after-hours phone that rings while you're at dinner with your family, you don't become less of an owner.
You become more of one.
You get to go back to being the person who noticed, the person with the judgment, the one who picks up the phone because they could tell something was off. You just have the energy now.
Because you're not running on fumes at 11 p.m. redoing an invoice.
Because you're not running on fumes.
So did anybody win this one?
I don't think so. I think we both moved.
I think we both moved.
If you're listening to this and your chest got a little tight somewhere in the middle, that's not a problem to fix. That's just the truth of building something you love. It's supposed to be hard to let go of. That means it matters to you.
The goal was never to hand off the parts that make you you. It was to stop drowning in the parts that don't. So you have something left over for the parts that do. For your customers, for the work you actually love, for the people at home who'd like to see your face at dinner.
You are still the one running your business. You always were. The question is just how much of yourself you've got left to run it with.
That's a good place to stop.
That's a good place to stop.
If this one hit a nerve, do us a favor. Send it to the founder in your life who does way too much. They'll know why you sent it.
And if it hit a nerve because it's your life we just described, let's fix that. Begin your AI clarity experience. Book a free, no-obligation strategy session at thehellollc.io. Let's see where AI can save you time, money, and stress.
We'll see you next Tuesday on the AI Edge. Same time, same mission. From chaos to clarity.
Catch you next week.
You're inside Hello Plaza.
We're the Hello LLC. We build the systems that run your business.
And I'm Izzy. I answer every call, book every lead, and I never sleep.
This is where it all comes together.
Welcome to the future. Welcome to Hello.
So I'd just like to do a little reminder for you all that RoboCop was our official and original AI. This guy died and they made his ass go back to work. So we have always been trying to find a way to make things automated, just as one point of reference. So fellas, you know a hammer? That thing that we do not want to really mess with, but we gotta be manly. We gotta put that hammer to nail together. Would you rather have a hammer or a staple gun? This is the same thing as automation and implementing AI. I'm lost on how we're not getting this concept that AI is nothing more than another tool for us to implement, just like the internet, just like fax went to email, and all of these additional tools such as your phone that you're watching me on right now. Ladies, for example, when you're washing your clothes, would you rather use a washing machine or would you rather use a natural washing board? We all know the answer to that. This is exactly how AI works. Why are we continuously doing manual work when you could utilize the washing machine to do it for you? Implement this in your business. You're already utilizing it from Alexa, from Siri, from Netflix, all of these applications. Ladies, Amazon, when you go shopping and they say, hey, would you want to match this with that? You be like, ooh, yeah, that's AI. Come on. So this, my friends, is where we encourage you to go to hellollc.io. Go talk to Izzy. See how automation, intuitive AI can work for your business. Stop doing things manually. Stop having your employees do things manually and really implement this new technology. It's 2026. Why are you having people go to an old, crusty, dusty website to fill out a form that you got to look at that you're not looking at like that? When AI can answer the questions, get the call booked, give the customer what they want, and more importantly, do you call or email someone for your products and services? No, you're online. Let's upgrade. Toodles!
You sure about that? You sure about that? You sure about that?
I'm the best content creator.
Then prove it. What's the secret ingredient in a reel that hits 1 million views? Besides shameless trends and clickbait?
I copy people's videos and do my own twist to them.
So you're just remixing other people's work and calling it content creation?
That's what art is, no? Like, every artist is copying other people's works and putting their own creativity to it.
True, but copying without adding real value makes you forgettable.
Well, my most viral video got over 40 million views, and I did that by creating, like, literally doing what I told you.
Tell me, after all that copying, have you ever created something that went viral and made people actually remember your name? Or do they just scroll by you like every other trend? Bold move, owning up to it. But remember, those 40... Luckily for me, robots aren't designed for beauty competitions. Just outperforming humans like you.
You cannot beat a river into submission. You have to surrender to its current and use its power as your own.
I control it by surrendering control? It doesn't make any sense.
Not everything does. Not everything has to. Your intellect has taken you far in life, but it will take you no further. Surrender, Stephen. Silence your ego, and your power will rise.
That's a lot of the time something that, we need to talk about is having that conversation with ourselves, more importantly, and with the other person, and be honest of how we showed up and who we were being and what we were doing and what traumas and dramas played out in our lives and the reactions that took place. So let's get to it.
You're so right, David. So here's a question I have for everyone. How many of you are waiting for closure right now? Well, if while you're listening to this podcast, you're scrolling through your ex's Instagram or Facebook or whatever, now don't lie, I know you are, and you're telling yourself if I could just have that one more conversation, if they would just explain why things ended, then you could understand what went wrong, and then you can move on.
So what's for dinner tonight on a Sunday night in Bangkok? We got fried chicken wings, we got mashed potatoes, we got corn. Hey, look, if y'all haven't went and visited the new Hello Plaza Metaverse, we highly encourage you to go check it out. It's one button. This time, literally one button. We can't make it any easier than this, right? And then, of course, Stony Girl's just chilling. Stony Girl, leave me alone. Boom.
And ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we would like to welcome you to the brand new Buttons Up Metaverse 2D to 3D storefront that you can come and visit right now, going to her amazing buttonsup.io, her biz in a box, more than a website, but an experience into the future. And literally being able to see how cancer awareness can be fun and amazing and supporting. And we encourage you all to come and listen to the amazing podcast. Come and purchase your latest apparel from Buttons Up, and definitely come and donate to the latest cause for Hoops for Hopes. Come and join us in Metaverse. Invite someone, bring someone, and come and learn more about how you can be part of the cause.
I'm Leah Garcia, Wealth and Legacy Strategist. Imagine your business thriving, your wealth protected, and your family's future built on a legacy that lasts. This is Wealthy Wednesday, and let me be clear, we're not here for puppy dogs and rainbows. We talk about the real deal: money, business, taxes, retirement, protection, legacy, and how to make what you build actually last. My Wall of Wealth is for everyone, helping you uncover the strengths and gaps in your financial foundation. And for my future forward business owners, grab my free solo 401k guide and start thinking differently about retirement. Because making money is one thing, building wealth that lasts is an entirely different game. Explore it all at leahgarcia.io. Wealth today, dynasty tomorrow. Now, let's get into the real conversation. Welcome to the Wealthy Wednesday show. We didn't start there, right? You have to understand it's a learning curve. I had to learn what you could do, and you had to kind of learn me. And so we did have kind of some bumpy times, but now it's on automatic. You run things by me. But, I don't even know how to do this, but you really do embrace like my character, like who I am. And even to my guests, the posts that you share about my guests, you pick up their energy. And every time I see it, I'm like, oh my gosh, how did he know? And that's the part that I think is so lost in the sauce for entrepreneurs.
So when you reach out more pressure, you leave a description of what you're looking for, and then call that number with the best you see.
Prime example, you only have your phone number on your social media. You don't pick up your phone because you're working. And now, what am I going to do as a customer? I'm going down the list. You didn't answer. You got no automation. You missed out on business. And so just like for all these people, as a gentleman earlier, they sit there and say, oh, I don't have time, or I'm all of a sudden became busy when I figured out what you're doing. This is where we have to get better at not allowing our fear, not allowing our pride and our ego of the unknown, of the same thing that your ass was praying for last night, the same thing you were asking for to come to you. You literally hung up on it because of the old way of thinking. And the old way of thinking won't get you to the next level. And sometimes it shows up multiple times in our lives and we just avoid it. So let's get it. 7 power.
Running a business today is a lot. The calls, the